I love bread. Adore it, really. Baked goods are a weakness of mine. Imagine it. The aroma, the soft warmth, the gentle peace of biting into a freshly baked slice. I also love cute things. There was a time in my life where I thought I got past that, think preteen and early teen years, but I only doubled down on that youthful fascination as I got older. Imagine my surprise when I came across this game, Happy Bakery for the Nintendo DS. I've never seen it, I've never heard of it. As far as I can tell, it never got a North American release. Originally released in Japan in 2008, it was brought to the European market in 2009. I couldn't find any distinct marketing, either I was looking in the wrong place or it merely doesn't exist. The only true bit of marketing I could find is the trailer. So what is this weirdly elusive game about? That, dear viewer, is what I'm here for. Let's get into it. As for my last video, I tried digging into the thoughts and motivations as to how my Sims came to be. A lot of great info came from my research. However, in the case of Happy Bakery, I found next to nothing. No developers' notes, no interviews, no behind-the-scenes sketches, nothing. It's like this game was put into the world and immediately left alone. I contemplated as to whether I should make this video in the first place, but it's because there is so little out there that I'm going to fill the gaps. Granted, I did find some playthroughs on YouTube, but I want my videos to go a step further beyond that. I'll give more of a lead up to said game and explain why in a bit. Starfish SD originally released the game in Japan in 2008. The art style and vibes are so quintessentially Japanese that it's almost laughable. The sheer cuteness of it is what drew me in the first place. Anyway, Starfish SD has some other games under their belt. They host numerous fishing titles, the Ann's Doll Studio games, and the Smart Boys/Girls games. On the other hand, Rising Star Games, along with Gambridge, brought Happy Bakery to Europe in 2009. I'm going to break these down into mini sections since I'll be diving into corporate culture and business, so bear with me here. Starting with Rising Star Games, they're a British game developer based in Hitchin. Obviously, they brought games to Britain and Australia. They mostly focused on Nintendo games for the DS and Wii, but it wasn't until around 2014 when they shifted focus to include Microsoft Windows, Xbox, and PlayStation. Their notable titles include Harvest Moon, Rune Factory, and No More Heroes. As you can tell, RSG isn't a little guy in the world of gaming. I also wanted to mention that they're the ones behind Baroque for the Wii, and I thought that was super neat since Dungeon Chill did an entire video on Baroque, and I think it's my favorite video on his channel. I just wanted to do a quick shout out since Dungeon Chill is a huge source of inspiration for this channel. Anyway, as I was saying before, Rising Star Games. Things get a little confusing here, so buckle in. A different company, Interchannel Inc., created a joint venture business named Bergsala. Bergsala is a Swedish company that started distributing Nintendo products in 1981 to its fellow Nordic countries. You could say that they're the Nord's Nintendo dealer.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Stay with me here. A totally different company by the name of Marvelous Entertainment was out here doing their own thing, as gaming companies do. Marvelous isn't to be joked around with, as they also did the Harvest Moon games, and one of its subdivisions is Hakama Inc., which is led by Yoshifumi Hashimoto, a big player behind Story of Seasons and Rune Factory. After a couple acquisitions, Marvelous Entertainment became Marvelous within an exclamation point. As they were expanding, their focus landed on Europe due to the lack of Japanese companies present, and Bergsala, being Swedish, you can start connecting the dots. Both Bergsala and Marvelous came together in a joint venture and Rising Star Games was born. Think of it more as a business baby, I guess. Okay, now onto Gambridge, which is not to be confused with Gamebridge. I might be pronouncing both wrong, but I'm going to continue like I'm right. During my research, I came across Gamebridge, which is a Taiwanese company that serves to be a bridge in the gaming industry. They do publishing, development, sound/voiceover work, graphics/motion, localization, collaboration, promotion, and consulting. So pretty much the whole 9 yards. Gambridge, on the other hand, is a charitable, unincorporated association meant to help students entering the video game industry. They're based in Cambridge, UK. They focused on bringing games developed and licensed by Interchannel from Japan and other countries. And what does Interchannel have? Bergsala. And whom did Marvelous have a business baby with? Bergsala. Everything's connected here. I will be honest here though, and I hope I got all the timing right because reading about business deals made me wish my wrinkly brain was a chicken breast. Happy Bakery was actually Gamebridge's first game. As to why, I genuinely could not find the reason. Looking up Happy Bakery typically led me to bakeries in cities nowhere near me, and searching the Happy series only brought up the TV show. Gamebridge followed Happy Bakery up with two totally different titles, Moon and Happy Party with Hello Kitty and Friends. One's an FPS, and the other is a simulation puzzle game. Fascinating, huh? Gamebridge did release a game in 2010 called Happy Hammerin' through Wii Fair for only 500 Wii points. It's essentially just a more complex version of Whack-A-Mole. I know what you might be thinking. Mickey, I really don't care about this business stuff. And I'd usually agree with you. Like I mentioned earlier, I didn't want my efforts to go to waste, but it made me sit there and think about how much goes on behind the scenes when it comes to video games. Typically, we think about the animators or the voice actors or the composers who create such memorable music, but there's so much more to that. I want you to take a second and think about a game you absolutely love. So much time and energy went into that so you could call it your favorite game. And as boring or icky as corporate crap is, it's part of the reason why I get to sit here and tell you about a game you might never even heard of before. I think the world would be a lot more boring if we didn't have these people bringing us so many different experiences from across the world. Okay, so now that all of that shit is out of the way, we get to focus on the real reason for my rambling, the gameplay. You probably noticed the big old 3+ on the corner of the case. The game is meant for very young players, mostly in the 3 to 5 year age range. The theme behind it was for kids to try baking without making a huge mess or getting hurt. You could argue that learning through hands-on experience is the best, but baking by itself is messy enough without a literal child drooling all over it. Happy Bakery has you create a wide variety of 40 breads and goodies for customers to enjoy. The gameplay itself fully utilizes the stylus to mimic the experience of baking bread. I'd also like to shout out this article on GameIndustry.biz because that single page of information was the most I could find anywhere about this game. My experience went as thus. Upon opening the game, we're given this adorable animation of a cute girl experiencing the joys of bread making in the most whimsical way possible. I like how it's reminiscent of a cartoon's opening title. We're met with smiling faces right away, and it's a given that we'll be dealing with a safe, happy, and comfortable game. Starting the game provides the plot, which there really isn't any. Inside this idyllic forest is this tiny building dubbed Happy Bakery.
He said it! He said it!
As we draw closer, we spot a help wanted sign. Knocking on the door with our giant detached hand, the same girl from before slinks into view. She introduces herself as Rue, and in classic kitty cartoon fashion, has a one-sided conversation with herself. We're then prompted to enter our name. Rue's such a sweetheart. She's an immediate friend to the player, and it's just all good vibes. The tutorial for the baking portion begins, and if these aren't the most MSP-looking ass graphics I've ever seen, they reminded me a lot of Blue's Clues characters, especially Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper. Anyway, creating dough only takes 3 ingredients: flour, yeast, and water. With each ingredient added, the mixing bowl gets more and more excited, which is such a cute detail. We then mix the dough, followed by kneading it. Remember kids, let the dough rest. When the cloud of flour dissipates, we're met with this little freak of nature. Rue is not as concerned as she should be. This blob of dough's name is, well, Dodo, and he's going to help us whip up some delicious food. It's unclear as to what kind of entity Dodo is, as he says we need to find a bread fairy, implying that he himself isn't one. Dodo opens a black hole in the floor and is unperturbed by literally anything that happens. I suspect he's some sort of god or warlock or whatever. This is where we're introduced to the other main mechanic of the game, finding bread fairies. They're what brings the air of adventure to the game, as you're essentially playing hide and seek with them. There's technically a day and night cycle, but rather than time naturally progressing, it's a matter of pressing between 2 buttons. Clicking the arrows on screen will lead you to one of the 6 locations on the map as seen on the top screen. We eventually find our first bread fairy, and tapping on it prompts the question as to whether or not we want to learn from it. As Dodo explained, each fairy will provide the recipe for the same kind of food they're made of. I mentioned earlier that there are 40 types to collect, so here we go. Each time you catch a fairy, you'll head back to the bakery. Dodo leads the conversation, and the fairy in question has no qualms about teaching us. I know it's a kid's game, but thinking of it from the perspective of Dodo being their unsaid ruler is kind of jarring. Anyway, white bread instructs us on what we do. Cut the dough, roll it, put it into a tray, butter it. The oven makes his first appearance, and arguably, he is the best character in this whole game. He does this little jig, and it's the greatest thing ever. Yay! We made bread! Why does it look like that? Every time we finish a recipe, Rue directs us to put it on the sales floor. Those are some fat loaves. Damn. We then get to see our first customer outside. Unfortunately, we don't get the gameplay of actually selling anything to the customers, which is kind of a bummer. The main menu lets you do 4 things: go to the Bread Kingdom, look at the customers outside, go inside the shop, or bake a dish again. At any time during the game, you can go through the shop and see what you've unlocked so far. Tapping on a bread provides a short description of it. Besides remaking a recipe, this screen also doubles as a menu to see what progress has been made so far. As you can see, each goodie has a tiny face. I noticed that some are completely different on this screen versus what I got when first finishing them. This game is a flip-flop between baking dishes and finding fairies, so that's what we do. And yes, we have to go through the same dialogue each time. Naturally, in the early stages, it's easy to find each bread fairy, but when it's closer to the end, it can get a bit tricky to remember where you searched already, since you have to look between day and night. Don't take that me as saying it's hard. It's not. It's just a bit confusing. Some of the fairies even have little animations. The churro, for instance, has a twitching eye, and it actually freaked me out, as you could probably tell by my cursor alone. Yo, check out these guys. Are these 2 kings? I'm not going to read into it for you, but that's pretty cool. Ew, what is that thing? I was somewhat surprised to find Hawaiian pizza. Personally, I enjoy it because I really like pineapple, but I'm not going to sit here and shit on those who don't like it. After encountering white bread, you do have to make the dough from scratch again for each fairy. You can't technically mess up or lose, but Rue will give you a slightly disapproving look for doing things wrong. Ah yes, just like a true mother. Listen, those downturned brows changes the experience so much, I can't. The methods that come after the dough are different, but a lot of the recipes blur together. A lot of common moves include rolling out the dough, cutting shapes into it, dragging in some sort of filling, and sprinkling or brushing something onto it. Most end with the oven baking them, but some will have you boil or fry the dough instead. There are some recipes that don't end after the oven's dance, like the ones with icing. The ones that stuck out the most to me were the melon bread, English muffin, chocolate coronet, and zolf. They mostly had steps that the others didn't include or were similar to, and I didn't know that cookie dough was used in melon bread. When you bake a certain number of recipes, Rue will bring you outside and show you that she's expanded the bakery. This happens a few times. Once the final recipe is completed, Rue tells us we did a great job and we get this fun victory music. Dodo, as suspicious as he is a real one and expands the store to its final size. The ending dialogue sets up a potential second game, but that never happened, or at least to my knowledge. The credits roll, and these heartwarming scenes of the bread fairies helping Rue and becoming a found family play behind them. Rue thanks the player once more, and the game fades to an end screen. look, a tier list. It's not like you've ever seen one of these before. Definitely on YouTube. Perfect. We're doing a live recording because this stuff is not scripted. And we're just going to break these down. As you can see, we have the proper categories. A perfect being, just a little guy. Invited but has to sit in the corner, I'd rather not. And birth from Satan's egg because, oh my god, some of these are just downright horrifying. Alright, so starting off, we have the, how do I want to do this in appropriate YouTube terms? Sassy little apple pie. There's something smug about her expression, and I don't really trust her, but she'd probably do your nails really good. So, we'll put her there. Alright, next we have Bagel, which you could argue that he's hilarious, but he's also terrifying. So I think he's going to go in the I'd rather not category. Then we have the Belgian pastry. Again, her expression says so much. I don't like the bedroom eyes, but also she's kind of like killing it with the boots. So I'm going to just keep her there. Alright, then we have Blueberry Muffin, which is a blueberry muffin. He's fine. He's cute, but I think it's the expression that's throwing me off. So, I don't know. Man. I don't know. We'll keep him there for now. We'll keep him there. Alright, then we have a blueberry scone. He's so chaotic. I kind of love him. He's fabulous, actually. So, I think we're just going to plop him up here. Next, we have Breadstick. Which the website did not load his head, but he is there. Oh god, I love him. I love him. Even in this form, he's perfect, so he's going up there. Alright, so we have Brioche, which he's fine. It's giving intergalactic deity you'd see in like late 90s anime, maybe. Absolutely delicious, but he kind of freaks me out. Alright, then we have Cheese Coop. I probably mispronounced that. I love him. He kind of reminds me of SpongeBob. He's really cute, so he's a perfect little guy. Alright, then we have Cherry Roll. A true king. A true king. I think he's gonna go in just a little guy. Alright, then we got a Chocolate Coronet. He reminds me of a snail, almost, because of the twisty turns. He's a cool dude. I feel like he'd be really fun to hang out with. Maybe get some coffee. Definitely has banger Spotify playlists, so I think he's just gonna go with just a little guy. Then we have Chocolate Covered Donut. I actually really like the donut designs in this. I think they're super cute and super fun. And he looks like he has 0 brain cells, and I love that about him. So he's gonna go in a perfect being. Alright, then we have Chocolate Muffin. Same thing as Blueberry Muffin. The design itself is fine. I think it's just the expression that's throwing me off. Also, they look like they're about to do a can line, and I kind of love that for them. Okay, then we have Churro. Churro scares me. As we talked about with the twitching eyeball, because what the actual hell was that? He's birthed from Satan's egg. I do not care. I do not care. Now we have Cinnamon Donut. Again, peak design. We love her. You know it's a her because, like any other cartoon character we have right now, it's a female because there's eyelashes involved. She's great. Then we have a Cinnamon Roll. It's Cherry Roll but brown. We love two kings. If you see it as relationship, if you don't, that's fine. They're cool. You like them. They're just chill. They also might have access to certain medicinal herbs, if you want to call it that. Okay, then we have Cream Bun. Oh, you kids! Oh my god, not the cat that just jumped on me. It's funny because if you cover the bottom half of the mouth, it looks like he just has like a really big head and then a really tiny face, but he doesn't. He kind of looks unsettled. He's going to need, I'd rather not. Croissant, horrible, hate him. Why does he look like that? Delicious, but you're going there. Dinner roll. Again, he's fine. I kind of really like how they gave him the spiral eyes. I kind of wish they made them into glasses almost to give them more of the anime effect. But he's just a little guy. He's great. Dodo, the destroyer of worlds, would probably eat your dog. But I trust him. But I also don't. He is a god amongst mortals. English muffin. He's fine. I think it might be the eyeballs. Like, I don't know if they're supposed to be little eye bags or what, but he's there, so they're fine. They're fine. Focaccia. Absolutely horrifying. Looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy had acne. Why does he look like that? Listen, I have blue eyes, okay? And I never understood it when people would be like, oh, blue eyes scare me because I could see straight into your soul. I can understand it now with this guy. I do not like him. French bread. Looks a couple of steps away from getting reported to HR. Goodbye. Hawaiian pizza. He's cute. Looks like he doesn't know anything, but he's just a little guy. We love him. Gingerbread Man, A++. I love him. Literal peak design. He kind of reminds me of these, is it Ty? The Beanie Baby people? Who has, like, the really popular Gingerbread Man that, like, everybody hates but also loves. I love him. He's cute. Hot crust buns. He's a derpy little dude. Sleepy. Love him. He's cute. We'll keep him there. Curry bun. He reminds me of, I can't think of his name right now, but the one comic with the tiger. Is it Hobbs? No, the tiger's name's Hobbs. Calvin? Is that his name? I'll put it up in editing, but it's fine. He low-key kind of creeps me out. Just... Alright, then we have Jam Bun. Looks like he would ask you if you have any games on your phone. Next, we have Kaiser Roll. He is such a sus little guy. Like, look at him. Sneaky. Sneaky boy. Sneaky bro. He's fine. Melon bread. I have been wanting to try it for a very long time. This face does not make me want to try it. Satan's egg. Margarita pizza. Adore him. Look at him. He's so upset he's spaghetti. He's so cute. I love him. Just a little guy. Non is 100% sus. I do not trust him. Why does he look like that? Alright, I am going to 100% butcher this. Is it Pirochuk? He looks like... It's gonna be so bad. But like a stereotypical German. You know the kind, like Charlie Chaplin vibes. He's like... I'm so sorry. I have nothing against German people. I'm German myself. Oh my god. He looks like a very harsh professor. He's not bad, but also like weirdly humanistic? Humanoid? Is that the word? We're going. Okay, so it wasn't until after the fact and whilst scripting that I found out that Pirojok is Russian and the fairy looks like Stalin. I'm dead. Goodbye. Alright, pretzel. Actually looks like a crackhead. Next, raisin bread. Again, looks like one call away from being talked to at HR. No. Rue, our protagonist that also isn't us, but we love her. I would fight for her. She is
So good, so good. Regular scone. Love him. Why does he look like that? He's so silly boy. He's just a little guy. Sausage roll. I mean, look at him. He has a cape. He has a belt. He has boots. He's a Superman. He's a super sausage. You love him. Come on. White bread. He's fine. I mean, the simplest guy. I mean, you probably work with a person who looks like that. You live next to a person who looks like that. You might be the person who looks like that. He's just a little guy. The regular yeast donut. Absolutely fantastic character design. I love them. 0 brain cells. Nothing goes on in that head. A perfect being. The Horn can die. He looks like a One Piece character and not in the good way. Why does he look like that? Get out of here. Ortolana pizza. Not my favorite of the pizzas. It probably is because of the expression he's making. Might be a drug dealer. Might not. Kooky clown vibes. He's okay, but compared to his siblings, we'll call them, hard pass. The oven. Absolute perfection. My favorite character of the game. It's so simple, but I love him. A good boy. And then we have Zopf. Zopf? I probably butchered that. I am so sorry. He looks like the Michelin Man, but a nice flaky brown. Probably really tasty. He looks like he gives good hugs, but again, something about it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know. Yeah, I'll settle for this. Again, you're more than welcome to disagree with these opinions. They're opinions for a reason. Some that I have in the bottom tier, you might love them. Personally, they scare me. Especially Horn. I can't get with him. I can't. Also, look at Non. Even he's like, yo, what the hell? Alright. But that was live taping, so, back to the video.
I wanted to take a moment and share my thoughts and speculations. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I've never seen nor heard of Happy Bakery. I only came across it while looking at potential games to talk about. What really drew me in was the adorable art style, and it makes me wonder if inspiration was pulled from Sanrio characters. This could 100% pass off as something like Doki Doki Yummy Chums. I thought the presentation of everything was very appealing to the targeted demographic and not overstimulating. My tier list was something unprompted and unscripted, but I was okay with most of the characters. The ones that creeped me out. Non is especially sus. I'm really hoping I read them all wrong. Rue's hair looked like bread, which I thought was a super fun detail. The map put me in mind of the one from Super Mario, and at first I thought the gameplay was going to be similar in that regard. I appreciated the way they explained that being too rough with the dough can ruin it and to be careful around hot surfaces. Exposure to cultural foods and to so many different types of bread really makes you take a seat back and appreciate bread making as a whole. Like other reviews I could find, I thought it was very repetitive and simple. I wish there were different ingredients thrown in with the dough making process, like salt or sugar, just, to mix it up. Granted, others were shown, but mostly after the fact. If I wanted to go really deep about this, I could say the fairies are almost cannibalistic, or at least Dodo is, as they talk about how delicious they are and encourage eating them. If a different developer wanted to do this, but with a Doki Doki Literature Club twist, I could totally see it happening. It's a great choice for the age demographic. I'd totally be okay with handing this over to my niece rather than an iPad. Overall, it reminded me of cooking flash games that I found on those girly game sites. There was one in particular I really liked. I can't remember the name, but the logo was a controller with pigtails. If you wanted to play something like this, I'd point you in the direction of Cooking Mama or a newer game called Magical Bakery. I haven't played it myself, but apparently the sweets and pastries contain magic. Thank you for listening to my tangent. I necessarily wouldn't recommend this game because I'm not 4, but it is good for little kids. I'd really appreciate it if you'd support this newborn channel. Feel free to tell me if you would have given this game a try, which bread fairy is your favorite, or if you actually have played it. All I ask is that you keep it respectful. Until next time, this is Icky Mickey. Goodbye!